Okay, hi guys. Welcome to our Dream Team Zoom, the first one that is open to all of Thriving Sisters. So hopefully we get some new faces on here. For those of you that are getting on, I was saying before we got started that if you have pen and paper, it would be handy for this one because we're going to do some thinking. Um, you guys, I think you all know because you've probably seen it on my Facebook if you follow me, but Tom and I started this, I call it marriage class for lack of a better term. And on Saturday at our break, I immediately texted Lindsay and Samantha, and I was like, you guys, like, who knew that I was going to learn something in class that I want to bring back to the team? But we're going to talk about your values in business. Okay. So, real quick, the definition of a value. A value is something that we recognize as good and worthwhile, and we choose to have it in our business, right? So, to give you an idea, if you weren't thinking business, if you were just thinking home life, a value for you might be eating meals together. A value for you might be sharing hobbies. A value for you might be um, attending church. I'm just going to read them off our sheet here. Serving others, leisure time, vacationing together. Like those are like values that you have in your life. So I want you to flip the script on that. And I want you to think about the values you have for your Lavelle business. So I will throw out some ideas and then I would love for you guys to either unmute and throw some out or put them in the chat. But like, for example, I value getting new customers weekly. I value educating and uplifting my team. I value learning slash participating in training. I value growing my team. I value my bingo cards or my 4 for 3 2 1s. I value my follow-ups. I greatly value, I'm sorry, I had an old link. Oh, it's okay. You're here now, Sonia. I value self-starters who want to run. So what are some things that you value in your business? So remember, if you were thinking of like home life, you might value dinner together. You might value Wednesday date night. You might value reading to your children, but like flip this. Okay, Courtney says, I value my free products. So flip this back to your business. What do you value in your business? I value my paychecks. Amen, girlfriend. A to the men. Anybody else want to add a value? Value helping former customers return to the Thrive Life. Yep. I value customer service for sure. Like I value that. I value showing others the way, self-starters, weekly pay, travel with them, travel with the team members, and I value testimonies. I value having product to share because I didn't have that before. Thank you for that, Carolyn. Courtney says, I value people who have people who trust my knowledge in improving their health. Sandra says she values relationships, travel, team, community. Okay. And I know a lot of you are at work, so this is good. So I'm going to now read you the full definition. I was a little sneaky. I'm going to read you the full definition of a value. Okay. A value is something that we recognize as good and worthwhile, and we choose to have it in our life now by sacrificing other things. I will repeat that because I really, really want you guys to wrap your mind around this. A value is something that we recognize as good and worthwhile, and we choose to have it in our life now by sacrificing other things. So for those of you that were able to make a list, I want you to now look at that list and give yourself an A, B, or C. You'll get an A next to your value if it's something you do every day. So for those of you that said, I'm trying to find it. I value helping former customers return. Okay, so Sandra, I value helping former customers return to their Thrive Life. Obviously, we can't control the outcome of what a customer does, but if you talk to past thrivers every single day, you would get an A. If you talk to past thrivers every couple weeks, you would get a B. If you talk to past thrivers every couple months, you would get a C. See what I'm saying? We're going to kind of grade our values because a lot of times we say something is a value to us, right? Like this, I say customer service is like, that's a value for me. You guys, I preach about it all the time. But if I sit down and I really look, Did I do something yesterday customer service related? Am I doing something today customer service related? Right? Because here's the difference. We have values and then we have ideas. Here's the definition of an idea. An idea is something that we recognize as good and worthwhile. So it starts off the same, right? It's something that we want to have in our lives. Not that we choose, but something that we want to have in our lives sometime in the future, but we're not willing to sacrifice for it right now. Okay, so the difference there, a value is something that you recognize good and worthwhile, and you're choosing to have it right now, and you're sacrificing for it. An idea is something that is good and worthwhile that you want to have sometime in your life, but you're not yet sacrificing for it. So how many of you have said, I want to be 12K? I need these notes. How many of you are saying, I want to be 12K? But in reality, it's the idea of being 12K because you want it sometime in the future, but you're not quite willing to sacrifice everything it's going to require to get there yet. I'm guilty. I have said I wanted 200K for 8.5 years. It's a great idea. I love the thought of it. Clearly, I want it sometime in my future, but I've never truly made the sacrifice needed to hit that number. So it's not been a value. I've acted like it was a value. I've thought it was a value, but clearly when you break that down, it's been an idea for me. So you don't have to, but who on here has something that you were like, wow, I thought that was a value, but I realize now that's an idea. I realize now that I was just holding it up there, preaching to the choir, Olivia says. So, again, just to bring you back, this was coming from, Sandra says, growing a team she's thought was a value, but now she realizes it's an idea. Anybody else want to share? Don't leave her out there all by herself. I agree. It's an idea that I might someday obtain. Are you talking about 12K? Yeah. So remember, this came from what I call marriage class. And like some of the values on here were like, the first one was family meals together. A lot of people were like, yeah, I value that. But do you do it 7 nights a week? Like that's when they really started like saying, okay, you portray or you think you're living one way, but are you really living that way? And this is not to say that it's right or wrong. This is to say it's time to look in the mirror and have a talk with yourself. Do you really truly value it? And the reason I think this is so timely is because we do have these rank advance bonuses. And I know a lot of people have said, I want to hit this rank. I want to hit that rank. I want you to really think, did you throw out, I want to hit 80K? And in reality, you value 4K. Again, that's not right or wrong. It's just having that conversation with yourself. And ranks be damned. What about your business day to day? How many of you say, I value my bingo card? I value my 54321. I value my reach outs. I value my reels. But you're not willing to actually sacrifice the Netflix or the time with your friends or whatever to get it done. And like done well, not just done, but done well, right? So again, I'm not here to call people out. I'm not here to like point fingers at anybody. I'm telling you, the fingers point to me. When I was listening to this and learning about this, I was like, wow, in business, this gets me right in the gut. Because I have said forever, 200K, 200K, 200K. But I've had ample opportunities to hit 200K, right? Years. So that's when I have to have a real talk with myself. Like, why am I in? I'm going to refer to myself, but I want you to think about this in your world. Thank you, Sandra. I thought so too. I was like, I texted them right away. I was like, girl, I got marriage class. I'm bringing it to the team. Ask yourself, whatever it is that you're feeling, you thought was a value. And now that we're talking, you're like, wow, I think it's an idea. Okay. Why do you feel like that idea has to be in your future? Why don't you feel like it could be right now? Why can't you choose to have it right now? Why are you just wanting it someday off in the future? Are you nervous about it? Are you scared about it? Do you not feel worthy of it? Do you not think you're smart enough for it? Do you not think you can handle it? Like, what is it that makes you say, not now, but soon? What is it that you think is going to happen between now and soon to get you ready for it?
Okay. Can I say something really quick?
Yeah, please.
First rank advancement type thing that we had, I had a teammate say to me, a promoter underneath me say, I don't know why you're going to go for that. You'll never get it. In all the rank advancements we've had opportunities to earn and so forth since then, I piddle ass my way through in trying to earn them. There ain't no piddling anybody's ass now. This girl is truly determined. I value what it would be able to help us to accomplish.
Okay. I hope you guys heard that. I heard it. Sonia says, I feel like it was not feeling worthy. And then it comes back to the fact that I feel like I'm not a good leader. And I feel like all the extra work with my day job is probably holding me back. So it's fear, right? Fear is the great, the great liar. It's the great divide. Good. What is it? Good is the enemy of great, right? Does anybody else have something they want to share or that you're thinking? So let's break this down a little bit further then. So we're trying to find out, you had a value, you thought, now you realize it's an idea. And you realize the difference between those are you're not making the choice to do it now. You're saying it belongs in your future. So we want to find out, like, what is it that you think has to happen to get ready for that? And why aren't you willing to make the sacrifices to make it right? So that you can have it right now. And so I'm not picking on you, Sonia, but I'm going to use your example because you wrote it out very well. She felt like she's not a good leader. What sacrifices to become a good leader would Sonia be able to do to get ready? Right? Like if she was going to sit down and be like, okay, I really do want this. I really do want to go to 12K. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I'm a good enough leader. Well, I can tell you guys right now, Sonia has messaged me and she's asked me about some books and I've got a book ready for her. So she is on the back end of this working to become a better leader. Right? So just because it's an idea, not a value, doesn't mean it can't swap places. And it doesn't mean it can't, like, it doesn't mean you have to be like, oh crap, I'm a liar. It's an idea, get rid of it. Right? It just means you've got to figure out what it is to get you there. Right? And I will tell all of you, and I think that everyone on here who's ever hit 12K or been 12K will tell you, being 12K, this is going to sound really bad. Being 12K is not that much work. It's not. Being 12, I know a lot of people are worried about the extra work of being a 12K. I sound spoiled. I sound entitled. It's not that much work. It just means you have a few people under you who are selling some Thrive. Now, maintaining it, does that require work? Yes, because you've constantly got to be growing your team. Do you need to be an awesome leader? No. Do you know why? Because you have awesome leaders. You just have to know how to plug those people into what exists while you learn to get to where you want to go. That's the conversation I had to have with myself. Terrified, probably deep down inside, terrified of like, could I really be a 200K? Like those girls wear jewelry and makeup and cute clothes. Could I be a 200K? Yeah, I could. You know why? Because I have a whole bunch of 200Ks that I could funnel my people to that could help me raise the team while I'm working on myself. Right. So anybody else want to share something that they thought was a value, but they now realize it's an idea? And it could be as simple as I valued my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but now I realize that that it was just an idea, that I wasn't truly going in and doing it. I value learning to become a better promoter, but it's really an idea because I don't show up on team Zooms or I don't go back and watch whatever's, right? I value consistency. How many people say I value consistency? But are you? Right? Hi, Kim. Kim's getting on late, but we'll all tell her hi. Hey, girl. I will tell you up to this point, Kim, you've missed the meat and potatoes, but it's okay. We're recording it. Okay, I don't want to be the only one out here talking. I want to hear from you guys. This Zoom is not me. It's us. Who has something like what is this making you feel?
Well, I was just typing, but if you want to hear,
Yeah.
this is deep. It's going to be have to one I have to listen to again, because I feel like I'm in a different situation than most, but probably what you said the most is your consistency, because I feel like I'm consistent, but am I really consistent? You know what I mean? And so I think that that's something that I really need to work on, consistent with certain things. I will say, since finding my brand, it is so much easier and simpler, but I want to be good at it. You know, I don't really know. This is good though. This is going to be another one of those like I'm gonna have to listen to and like really dig down to the bone.
Oh, I've thought about it nonstop since Saturday afternoon for life as well as business.
Yeah.
Courtney says, I love the idea of quitting. She even says, I love the idea of quitting my day job, but I'm not sure if I really value this at this point in my life. And that is a really good thing to realize, because again, I think the value is put on us a lot, like, oh, you know, Lindsay gave her day job up. Sam gave her day job up. And so you start to think that, oh, if I'm going to be like them, I've got to give that up. But that's not true. What other people do is not right or wrong. It's what's good for you in the moment. And if so, if having your day job is a good value. And you know what? It is a good value. It pays your bills. It buys your food. It keeps you out of debt. It allows you to travel. It allows you the cushion to have this side gig while you're building that up. You guys, I didn't quit my day job till last year. So what, 7.5 years, right? So just because it's a value for somebody else doesn't mean it has to be your value, nor does it even have to be your idea. Ashley Mincy, that we've heard from on the team Tuesday night Zooms, you guys, she works in corporate America. She's a 9-to-5er and she's a 200K. And she'll tell you she has no intention of quitting her day job. She loves what she does and or loves the bank that she brings in, right? So whatever is your idea, or I'm sorry, whatever is your value is your value. It's in your, you know, it's here. Like, I'll just give you an example. One of the things we were going through our family of origin, where you talk about your childhood, and one of the questions was, what was dinner time like for you? And of course, I wrote down chaotic. Like, mom probably just came home from work. I probably made some kind of meal. Heather maybe was having a sandwich. We might have been sitting in front of the TV. Dad was maybe still at work or maybe out in the garage working on a race car. I mean, it was just chaotic. Like, it was just fend for yourself, fill your belly, and be gone. And of course, Tom writes, because God love him, he grew up in this beautiful home. Dinner with the family every night, mom home cooked meals 7 nights a week. And I'm like, huh. So when you start to realize, I mean, you wouldn't look at us and be like, well, they can never be married. They grew up completely different, right? That's not true. But his idea or his value and my value are different. I don't think a meal is less important if it's a little chaotic. But I understand where he's coming from, right? So when you talk to people on your team and they're telling you things like, I want to be on 2 Zooms a week, and that's their value, that's what's important to them, and you think they should be on there 7, keep it to yourself. That's your business. Right? If you think if it's a value for you to be on a Zoom 7 days a week, then get your butt on a Zoom 7 days a week. You can't push your values on someone else. It is what it is. They can respect your value back. They can learn from your value. You guys, when Wake Up and Wins first started, I wasn't on them all the time. Even when I first was like a full-time Thriver, I don't know, 9 o'clock seemed late in the morning for me. I felt like I'd already done, I don't know. But over the last 6 months or so, I made a commitment to be on them, whether my bingo card is done or not. And it's made a difference for me and my business. But again, I had to learn that and respect that and get to that. Okay, Sandra says, I was once lost and am now found. Quitting my day job, be able to work your business in 3 hours a week, the podcast from that one guy. You're answering a question and I'm not sure what the question was. I'm sorry, I'm so removed from it now. Lisa says, all of this, so much to think about. Once again, you're reading my mail. I'm not reading your mail, I promise. I just know that it hit hard for me because what I personally want to do is I want to look at the things that I held as a value that I now realize are ideal. And I want to find out what it is between the value and the ideal. Why is it that I think it can't be a value for me right now? Like I said, maybe it's my insecurities. Is it selfish to say dragging others? No, no. This is your business. Like I just said, if somebody says to you, I'm going to be on a Zoom 3 nights a week, we're going to respect that and move on. That's their value. That's where they hold their value of their business. And it could be because they've got a kid that they're coaching 12 times a week. It could be because they've got a demanding full-time job. Like, we don't have to know all the reasons. We just have to know what their value is and uphold that. Or I'm sorry, respect it while we uphold our value. But for me, the real inner work here is I want to look at the things that I keep thinking would be great in the future. Like, yeah, I'm going to get to this rank, or yeah, I'm going to get to this destination, or I'm going to get to this dollar amount saved. When I look at that and I feel myself thinking in the future, I'm going to stop myself and say, why? Why in the future? Like, I'll tell you, I want to go to Italy someday. Why not now? Right? I do want to go to Italy, but I really like, why not now? Why? I'm young. We can walk all over the place. We're healthy. We can do it. Like, we should do it now. Right? Take me with you. Olivia, we're going to go to Sicily, to the little village where Tom's family's from. I've seen pictures. It's amazing, but I don't even know if they have running water. Come with me in July. Oh, yeah. Are you going to Sicily? I know you're going to like Europe and stuff, but are you? Okay. You don't even know. I love it. I love that you're just going and don't even know. But so think of, so like, if you say to yourself, I'm going to save $5,000. When? In a couple of years or in a couple of months, right? Like,
Are you reading my mail?
Yeah.
Listen, I want to show you something.
100, I'll pull it back a little. 100 envelope save. Oh, 100 envelopes. Yeah, see?
By the time that it's done, it'll be $5,050. And I've been doing it, y'all.
Yay.
It's like I started doing my lives. I mean, or well, it's not really live, but I mean, I'm putting my voice in my face, and
Yeah.
y'all just don't. I'm on fire.
I love it. I love it.
I got 2 email addresses today at the doctor's office.
Hot damn.
I'm getting it. Yes, one for meals and one for vitamins, and I'm like, sisters, we're doing it. We're gonna do it.
Hey,
Y'all just don't know. One more Arizona trip, and I'm just gonna be probably dead in the ditch somewhere. I'm so excited.
Oh my God.
But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. What you got, Court?
I'm getting off of Zoom. I don't know if y'all can see my face right now because I don't know what happened to my Zoom, but I can't see anything. Can y'all hear me?
Okay, now.
Okay, yeah. So Kim, I love that you just shared this. And like I said, I don't know if y'all can see me or not because I can't see myself.
You're a little muted all of a sudden. I don't know why. When you said, can you hear me? You were like loud and clear. And then you went back to talking and you were a little muted.
Okay, what about now?
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
And can you see me? Okay. So what I was saying is I'm feeding off of you, Kim, because look what I have right here. My husband and I decided, like, as soon as Tammy said you're going to save $5,000, I was like going to unmute and say this, and then you beat me to it. But we're doing this together, Sid, because I got 100 envelopes. They're numbered 1 through 100 right now. I'm a little off track because I was gone over the weekend. But yeah, we're doing the same thing. We made that commitment to save, and at the end of the 100 days, it's $5,050. So we got this. We're going to be rich AF, Kim.
Okay, so I want to just wrap my mind around, I want you guys to wrap your mind around the energy and excitement you just heard from Kim and Courtney, because they set a goal and they're making sacrifices right now to make it happen. It is a value to them. I can guarantee that at times, maybe in the past, you or someone like them has thought about the 100 envelope challenge, or you've thought about saving the money, but you didn't actually start it. You didn't start doing it. So you were never that excited about it, right? But when you take your idea and you commit it to a value, because you know that it is good and worthwhile, and you choose to have it in your life right now by sacrificing other things, and their envelopes, that's a perfect example. All that cash going to those envelopes, they could have easily spent on something fun, right? But they're making the sacrifice to put it in the envelope. So what sacrifice are you willing to do to put it in your envelope? What envelope are you going to fill? Sarah says, I want to earn the rank advance bonus to pay for my greenhouse. Yes. And that takes you to a why, right? So sometimes what's missing between the ideal and the value stage is truly your why. Like maybe you've not really thought about it. You know, if somebody's like, oh, I'm gonna quit my job and be a full-time thriver, but you know, here they are 10 years later and they still haven't quit. Well, why were they saying they wanted to quit their day job? Or were they just saying that because it sounded good and it felt right to say? Like, I want us to really start thinking about the commitments that we make to ourselves. Why are we making them? Are we truly committed? Do we truly want to choose that for our life right now? Or are we just putting them out in the future? So I know this was a lot. I know it's deep. I know it's really marriage class and not business class, but I think it's so, I don't know, important. And it rocked my world and I wanted it to rock your world. So if you guys have any last minute things to share, we have a couple minutes. Questions? I'll go over the definitions one more time just so you can wrap your mind around it. A value is something that we recognize as good and worthwhile, that we choose to have in our life now by sacrificing other things. Versus the idea is something we recognize as good and worthwhile that we want to have in our life in the future, but we're not yet willing to sacrifice for it. Okay. So keep those things in mind. Really, and again, like I said, really wrap your mind around this. Like, don't look at the rank advanced bonus and say, I can hit 4K, so I should probably say I could hit 40K because that's going to push me along. No. What do you want? Do you want 4K? Are you willing to sacrifice for 4K right now? Then freaking do that. Don't set yourself up for failure by putting an idea out there that seems far off in the future that you don't think you can get to. Commit to what you can do right now that you're willing to work for. So with that, I'm going to get off here. This will be on YouTube. Love y'all. See you next week. Bye.